Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for choosing Big Fox News. I'm Nick Smith. A volunteer on the campaign of New York City mayoral candidate Eric Adams is recovering after being stabbed in the Bronx on Sunday. It's tonight's top story. Police say the 42-year-old was handing out campaign literature when he was attacked. He underwent surgery and is said to be stable. Adams spoke at a press conference Sunday evening.
A campaign volunteer, he was stabbed multiple times by an ice pick. That is one of the most dangerous weapons you can use with the stabbing. He went into surgery. We believe he has stabilized. We're trying to get more from the police department. We want to thank them. They have been amazing during this time.
Adams said the police are investigating the situation. It is not yet known if the attack was related to the campaign. Severe weather across the country over the weekend, including a tornado in the Midwest and Tropical Storm Claudette, left a trail of destruction across the Southeast. Jonathan Siri has more from Alabama.
A weekend of wicked weather across the U.S. as storms in the Southeast and Midwest leave behind devastating damage. The National Weather Service confirming a tornado touchdown near the Chicago suburb of Woodbridge Sunday night, leveling some homes and leaving debris strewn across communities. Reports of nearly a dozen injuries coming Monday morning, with many now assessing the damage to their homes and businesses. Meanwhile, in the southeast, Claudette regaining tropical storm strength as it heads for the coast of the Carolinas. This after the storm caused the deaths of at least 13 people and is being blamed for an 18-car pileup on Interstate 65 in Alabama that claimed the lives of 10 people, 9 of them children. 8 of those children traveling in a van that belonged to a youth ranch for abused and neglected children. The NTSB is now investigating. The storm also responsible for the deaths of a 24-year-old man and 3-year-old boy who were killed when a tree fell on their home just outside Tuscaloosa.
It lasted for about 10 seconds and then it was over with.
Claudette also bringing several suspected tornadoes to the area, one destroying dozens of homes in Florida's Panhandle and another hitting a trailer park head-on.
I was asleep when it felt like something grabbed the front of my vehicle and pushed it, and next thing I know, I'm hearing glass shatter all over the place.
A tropical storm warning is in effect for parts of the Carolinas as Claudette moves toward the Atlantic with winds as high as 40 miles an hour. In East Bruton, Alabama, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
After a week on the world stage, President Biden is turning his attention back to an uneven post-pandemic economy, sitting down with the country's leading financial regulators as bipartisan negotiations continue over infrastructure. Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
We just had to hire a full-time recruiter to help us with bringing great talent onto the team.
As some businesses scramble to find workers and pump up the pay to lure them in, there's another worry in Washington: inflation.
You've been cooped up in your house for over a year. You can't take a family vacation, to Disney or somewhere else because gas prices are through the roof. Not to mention everything is going up.
What we're seeing is demand outstripping supply, which is to be expected as the economy reopens before the labor market has fully been able to shift into a reopening mode.
On Monday, President Biden is sitting down with regulators for an update on the country's financial system. Meanwhile, members of Congress are negotiating with the White House over an infrastructure deal.
But I think the question here is, what can we agree on, Democrats and Republicans?
So far, not much. 21 senators, including 11 Republicans, are working on a plan that would cost $1.2 trillion over 8 years. It's a quarter of what President Biden originally proposed and a fifth of what liberal Democrats are now working on in the House. But it's the only deal with bipartisan support.
President Biden, if you want an infrastructure deal of $1 trillion, it's there for the taking. You just need to get involved and lead.
Another event to watch: the head of the Federal Reserve is set to appear before Congress on Tuesday, and lawmakers have plenty of questions. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
According to projections from J.P. Morgan, Amazon is set to surpass Walmart as the U.S.'s largest retailer. Meanwhile, Amazon Prime Days kicks off 2 days of deals today, but its competitors are also holding big sales. This could be a big test of whether online retail can continue surging post-pandemic. Lydia Hugh has more.
After Amazon announced it would hold its Amazon Prime Days today and tomorrow, Walmart came out with its own competing offers, holding its Deals for Days starting yesterday, going through Wednesday, offering 2 additional days of sales that are available both in store and online. Now, Amazon is coming off a great 2020 in terms of sales, boosted by consumers who are shopping online, which accelerated Amazon's growth to 39% of the e-commerce market. And even during the first 3 months of this year, Amazon reported a profit of $8.1 billion compared to $2.5 billion during the same time last year. Now, these dueling shopping sales with Amazon and Walmart will test whether consumers will continue to shop online with Amazon or perhaps will return to brick and mortar with Walmart.
I think the real challenge is going to be the secondary and tertiary retailers who are trying to compete on price, who are trying to compete on convenience, but just don't have the infrastructure or the ability to do that without deteriorating gross margins to a point where they can't survive.
Target, Best Buy, and Kohl's are among the other companies also offering their own sales to compete. Now, retail sales were down 1.3% last month, but generally speaking, retail spending is expected to grow this year. The National Retail Federation is projecting 10% growth in retail spending as the economy continues to reopen. That we could see a fair amount of spending happening between these two sales with Walmart and Amazon these next few days.
The Biden administration is considering ending a policy that has turned away almost 650,000 migrants at the border. A health policy known as Title 42 has given officials authority to turn migrants away since the onset of the COVID pandemic. Immigration advocates say the policy has put migrants in harm's way by subjecting them to dangerous conditions in Mexico. It has also led to some families separating since unaccompanied children are not subject to the policy. The Biden administration has been identifying vulnerable migrant families in Mexico and allowing them to enter the U.S. in recent weeks. The Department of Homeland Security has not commented on a possible phase out of the policy. On Sunday, it looked like pre-pandemic life inside New York's Madison Square Garden when the Foo Fighters took to the stage for their first full-capacity concert in the city. No face coverings, no social distancing, but everyone was supposed to be fully vaccinated. Corey James has the story.
The sound of the Foo Fighters echoing throughout Madison Square Garden is exactly what these fans have been waiting to hear.
They're just electric. I love Dave Grohl.
I want to see him shake his head the way he shakes his hair.
It's going to be a good night.
We saw many of them snaking around the side of the building for the first full-capacity event inside the arena since the pandemic began. The concert taking place days after nearly all COVID-19 restrictions were lifted in New York. And it's why Yvonne Saldivar,
South Texas, woo!
From San Antonio, Texas, wasted no time buying a ticket to the show and booking a flight to the Big Apple for the first time.
This is a bucket list kind of thing. Perfect timing. The city's open.
In order to watch the band rock out, concert goers had to be fully vaccinated.
Thank you, vaccines.
All of them having to show proof of that before going through the door. But outside the venue, anti-vaxxers protested, saying the COVID-19 vaccine should not be required for events.
Did you want to go to the concert?
Does that matter? No, I didn't want to go. But this is just the first step. Should we be forced to take a vaccine or lose our freedom?
The opposition, though, did not ruin the excitement for these Foo Fighters fans. They were just happy to taste pre-pandemic life again.
Great show. It's good to see everybody out again.
And how did you feel about it?
It was awesome seeing just people out with vaccines.
Still ahead tonight, the CDC is investigating an increase in reports of a cardiac condition in young people who have gotten a COVID-19 vaccine.
To our knowledge, no one has died from this heart inflammation. It tends to be transitory, so it lasts for a period of time, but then it goes away and people generally fully recover.
Details on the condition and more on what health experts have to say about it.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Much warmer conditions today as highs were in the 90s. So a lot of places reporting a little bit warmer conditions. 9 degrees warmer in Bath as well as in Watkins Glen. Corning about 6 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. But then a cold front is pushing through our area and it will land to our east. We're going to be on the backside of it, and that means that cooler air will start to filter in. In fact, temperatures will be plummeting, and we're only going to see highs in the 60s tomorrow. So it's going to be about 25-degree difference as we head into your Tuesday. Not only that, it is going to feel a lot drier. So we're going to start off with a few showers in the morning hours, and then by the afternoon it will stay cloudy, but I don't think we're going to see any rain. As far as those temperatures are concerned, expect to warm up only into the 60s. 63 degrees at 4 o'clock with partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. We are expecting temperature readings to drop back down to around 62 by 6 o'clock. As high pressure builds in, it will leave us with chilly conditions through your Wednesday and Thursday, and we are expecting a dry spell as well, but we have another system that will come over the weekend that could bring the wet weather back. So our future radar is showing a few showers remaining for tonight, and we are expecting a few isolated thunderstorms as well. This will continue to move to the east, and a few more showers at around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And there could be some heavy rain with these thunderstorms that will be rumbling through early in the morning, but I'm expecting after sunrise, most of this will be moving out, and we are expecting a little bit drier conditions for the rest of your Tuesday. Tonight, though, we drop down to around 54 degrees in Corning, 56 degrees in Elmira, and we are expecting a lot of cloudy conditions. There could be a few strong thunderstorms tonight as well. A few spotty showers that will remain early tomorrow morning. Highs only around 65 degrees in Corning, Elmira 64. So again, our highs today were close to around 90 degrees. So it's going to be a big tumble in our temperatures in the next 24 hours. We gradually warm up to around 73 degrees with some sunshine on Wednesday. A little bit warmer on Thursday with highs around 80. And we're going to continue to climb up as we head into the weekend. However, there will be a few more thunderstorms coming our way on Saturday and Sunday. Notice those overnight lows will rise from the 40s to the 60s over the weekend, and that's an indication of a little bit more cloud cover and also a little bit more humid air that will return by the end of the weekend ahead of another storm system. But temperatures will be closer to normal for this weekend into early next week. Expect some sunshine on Monday. There could be a few isolated showers. Highs will be around 82.
The CDC is investigating an increase in reports of a cardiac condition in young people who have gotten a COVID-19 vaccine. While a link between the two has not been confirmed, the reports may be striking fear in some parents. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains the condition and has more on what health experts have to say about it.
It's a condition called myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart muscle. The body's immune system causes the swelling in response to an infection or some other trigger. Since April, the CDC says more cases of myocarditis have been reported in the U.S., especially in young people who have gotten either the Moderna or Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine.
These are very rare cases, and in addition, they are mild.
The CDC says most myocarditis cases have been in males 16 years and older, the onset typically within several days after a Pfizer or Moderna vaccination. Cases have appeared more often after the second dose than the first. Symptoms can include chest pain, shortness of breath, or palpitations. In most cases, the CDC says patients who have gotten myocarditis have responded well to medications and rest.
To our knowledge, no one has died from this heart inflammation. It tends to be transitory, so it lasts for a period of time, but then it goes away and people generally fully recover.
While the CDC is still investigating these cases, some parents may be concerned about their child getting vaccinated. However, U.S. health experts say COVID-19 should scare you more.
For kids 12 and older who are eligible to receive the vaccine, if I had a child in this age range, I would absolutely get them vaccinated today.
The CDC continues to recommend COVID-19 vaccination for everyone 12 years of age and older. The agency's director saying the benefits of vaccination overwhelm the rare risk of myocarditis. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Teams arriving in Japan will find an Olympic village set up with COVID precautions in mind. Plexiglass barriers, mask requirements, and a fever clinic, all signs of a very different Olympics. Selena Wang is in Tokyo with more.
The Olympic Village, a city within a city, built for the world's best athletes. For the Tokyo Games, thousands of Olympians from more than 200 countries will be living here, preparing for the defining moment in their sporting careers. Normally a place for partying and celebration, this year it's going to be an antisocial sanitized bubble, full of COVID testing, health centers, and staying far apart from one another. At the Athletes Village Plaza, there's everything the Olympians will need. Cafe, bank, internet, hair salon, and much, much more. Normally a place for athletes to hang out, mix and mingle. Instead, there are signs everywhere reminding people to wear their masks and socially distance themselves. But the majority in Japan still don't want the Olympics to happen. Actually, a protest is ongoing right behind me as they are debuting the Olympic Village to the press. There are 3,800 rooms in these 21 buildings to house the athletes. This is a replica of the athletes' room. The athletes have to share the room, which some public health experts say increases the risk of spreading COVID. The Olympians are also going to be sleeping on beds made out of cardboard, recyclable. But don't worry, they're extremely sturdy and can hold more than 400 pounds. Athletes are contact traced and tested for COVID every day. If they test positive for COVID, they have to come to this fever clinic to get tested again. If that COVID test comes back positive yet again, they then have to take dedicated transport to an isolation facility outside of this Olympic Village, and they then lose their chance to compete. They're only allowing 2/3 of capacity here at the dining hall, and normally a place for meeting and chatting. Instead, athletes are asked to dine alone, separated by plastic barriers, and to leave as soon as they finish eating after wiping down their seats. And the athletes' gym, where they have to keep their mask on at all times and will be separated by these barriers. Athletes can only arrive 5 days before their competition and have to leave within 2. Now, condoms will still be passed out per tradition, but they're only given as athletes are leaving the village. It cost hundreds of millions of dollars to build all this. After the games, they'll be turned into residential apartments. But before that, this is going to house athletes for an Olympics like no other. Selena Wang, CNN, Tokyo.
Diana Estrada was just 17 years old when she was left homeless after her parents, who had come to America illegally 20 years earlier, were deported from Utah back to Mexico. Now she's a law school graduate hoping to inspire others. Evelyn Holmes has her story.
Know that you can do it.
29-year-old Diana Estrada talks the talk because she's had to live the walk after going from being a homeless teen to now a law school graduate.
Have that courage to start that dream and then have that resilience to stay on that path.
Estrada became homeless, or doubled up, a type of homelessness, when she was 17 after her parents were deported from Utah to Mexico because they came to America illegally 20 years ago. Born in California, she chose to move in with her older brother, who lived here in Chicago. But the problems only continued.
It was very unstable because although he was with me, he was going through his own issues, so I was on my own.
As a senior at John Hancock College Preparatory High School, she ate what she could, where she could, and slept on the couches of friends, and even picked up a job in retail to help support herself. She may have been on her own, but she would soon not be alone. Her senior English teacher, Vanessa Puentes, who is now the principal of Hancock, stepped up to help. She says because she believed in Diana's dream for herself. The educator taught the student life skills and then some.
She's lived with my family, and we have built a very strong relationship over the past 10 years.
Despite all her difficulties, Diana graduated high school and was accepted to the University of Illinois at Chicago. She was given a full ride and a scholarship from the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless, which helped her with her campus housing. And last month, Estrada, who has her own apartment in Pilsen, graduated from Loyola University School of Law, the first scholarship recipient to do so.
You belong in any space you want to be in.
And Sunday, when Estrada addressed the graduating class of her high school alma mater during their Soldier Field ceremony, she told them the truth about her struggles while encouraging them to never give up.
Any dream that they have, is doable and to go for it, and you can do it, and we'll be on the other side waiting for you.
When it comes to chicken wings, the prices are high and the supply is low thanks to supply chain issues. That's why a restaurant known for its wings is making a change. Wingstop says it's now selling chicken thighs along with chicken wings. The restaurant launched a virtual brand called Thigh Stop on Monday. Thigh Stop will serve crispy thighs with or without sauce in both breaded and boneless versions. It is digitally based. That means its products are only available on the company's website or through food delivery services like DoorDash. You can also call in and order to any participating Wingstop or Thigh Stop. An Alaska woman recently cracked open a fortune cookie that had the fortune, "Something important will come back to you." And boy, was that true. Reporter Eric Soule was there when a high school class ring came back 4 decades after it was lost.
I'm so nervous, you guys.
That's so exciting.
I know. I really can't believe that it's found 40 years later. I was just moved here to Anchorage to finish or work on my education. Was doing shopping at Fred Meyer. My high school ring got caught in the glove that I tried on. And I said, I probably will never see that again. Hello, are you Betty? Oh my gosh, she is the lady that has my ring that I have not seen since 1981. My emotions are mixed right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just been one amazing thing after, your grandson texted me.
Had to return a class ring that had been lost for 40-something years.
Can I give you a hug
Sure.
right away?
You sure can.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I gave up on it that night.
Does it look familiar?
Oh my God. That is so amazing.
I was in Fred Meyer's trying on gloves.
Yeah, that's your...
For the winter, and when I pulled my hand out of the glove, I had a ring on my finger.
Still fits, and this is the finger it'll be on from now on. She didn't want to lose it, so she put it in a jewelry box and forgot all about it. Her grandson actually was the one that made the connection with me through Nome Belts High School staff up in Nome.
It's a great feeling, because I've lost things before that I really wish I had gotten back.
I'm going to keep my ring for a while, so I'm going to stay off gloves for a while.
Go Bucks! Go Wisconsin! Yeah!
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Instead of Hulkamania, it's Buckamania for this Wisconsin farmer. Tony Schultz went viral for a moment that would surely make former wrestler Hulk Hogan proud. In the viral video, Schultz cheers on the Milwaukee Bucks, who are in the NBA playoffs. The farmer lets out a passionate scream as he rips off his shirt. The Bucks have advanced to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals after beating the Brooklyn Nets in exciting fashion on Saturday night. And that's how you show fan support. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.